call between 10 and 11. Can we let you, the 20, something more specific or what works for you?
I'll be over there.
Perfect, and that should be enough time. That I can, all right, thank you.
Is one of these packets mine?
I didn't know if you had yours or not, if you need.
I did not.
Take it, yeah, just take one, they're just for whoever needs one.
Jen, you don't happen to have an extra pair of cheetah readers, do you?
Dude, downstairs, look at this one.
Okay. Dang, I must have taken them out when I was grocery shopping.
Jen, what are the larger packets for? Are those the,
Those are for Chris, and
I think there's a chapter, the title 9, so the code stuff, that chapter 7. Land use code 17, whatever it is. Yeah, land use code 17.
Which level are you? Maybe 1.5 or 1.5
wait, sorry.
on your cheetah readers.
Oh, I think they're like, yeah,
Okay,
they're, I think, yeah.
that'll be enough to get me through. Just don't let me walk out of here. Oh, no, no. I have a whole box of them in my office for people who forget their,
Oh, how funny.
and, well, they're ones that aren't there anymore. Or now I have a smaller ones.
Oh.
Oh, look at you.
I know they all fold up.
That is glorious. Oh my God. Okay, let's see if I can see. See on my, yeah. All right. They're blushing. That's awesome.
So the stack report references in exhibit A. Which I don't see. Is it just on that back page? It's the back page, let me check. Let's see.
Of the comp plan, I can go make.
Well, I just got reference as an exhibit A and I didn't see.
Oh,
And maybe that's this, maybe this is the exhibit A, the back of the staff report.
yeah.
I think that's what it
Yes, I would guess so.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's not labeled, but.
Exactly, but I think that's what it is. All right, never mind.
Okay.
No worries. Thank you.
Sure.
met with your neighbor today, Jody?
Oh, yeah, what y'all doing?
She wants me to rebuild both of those decks.
On the back? They're high up.
She tried to get me to walk down those stairs. I took one step, I was like, we need to go out the front door.
Is that Jody with Ryder?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I love her. Where do you live?
I live right behind her.
I know you.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes, Beth, I'm Georgia. I see you all the time in that big white dog.
That's Chris's
Yeah, it's Chris's
I know.
dog.
I
If
guess
if you put him in Chris's yard, he breaks out onto it, it's a ticket. You put him
that's
in
what
my
I'm
yard,
interested in is how he's playing.
yeah, look out of dog park, he's totally happy, so I told Chris, I'm like, just put him in the backyard every day.
Which is, is this the Chris that's here? How are you? Different Chris.
Okay.
He works
Hey,
at
how's it going?
the.
Y'all were supposed to call me, y'all didn't call me, you and your brother,
Or,
electrical,
well, I will definitely hold it.
I was thinking Jimmy must have done something bad, and now you're mad, and call me back. Good.
No, we'll get it, we'll be right.
I'm kidding, that was okay. But, you know what I did, right? I blew out half the outlets on the back of my house with all
I
the
am
Christmas lights.
surprised. She is the lighting queen of the entire.
So I need you to come and fix
Every
it.
holiday.
Well, they lasted for quite a while.
Yeah. So,
Quite a few Christmases.
Yes.
Why doesn't Jimmy fix it?
I just took it into my own hands and I'll do it, so, well, I'll pay you to do it. So I gotta fix my certificates,
Well, we definitely come check it out. for you.
yeah,
You're right down the street too. so
Yeah.
It'll be a nice, easy.
yeah. So, and I got some porch lights that have never worked. And I got a closet light that I hate. And I really hate the covers on the exterior outlets, those big metal covers.
Oh, right.
Because I can't fit a big old extension cord plug in there.
For all the Christmas lights.
Yeah, yeah, did you see the movie with Chevy Chase? How
Yes.
many plugs in the
Yes.
cord? That's what I do, I need to have full access.
No, I call your husband Griswold, we great love and affection. And then you add every week, there's a new thing.
I know,
It's evolving and it's wonderful.
I love it, it's too much fun, I just love it.
I can know, it's so wonderful.
It's fun, well, and parents come by and they're like, kids make us drive by your house like every week, and I'm like, and then, of course, you know, my husband doesn't do anything, and when people
No,
are
you
like.
do it all, I know.
Yeah, when people tell my husband, "Oh, your house looks so good," he's like, "Thanks, man, I worked really hard." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you."
And you're like, no, thank you. Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
It looks like it's a lot of fun, it's always lovely. I love to watch what you're doing next.
I know, right?
And how does your black dog do?
We're almost out.
Oh, he's good, he's an old man,
Yes.
he's like 12 or 13, and,
Oh.
but we started him on that new umbrella shot.
Oh, really?
That new,
How much you want?
newly released revolutionary.
Oh,
Cause, you know, he was pretty much taking a Remedil a week, you know?
Oh, man.
And he doing that.
Right.
So, now he gets the shot once a month. And he had a whole packet of stuff.
Really? That's
Yeah.
great.
He's super excited. So,
Yeah, no, that's happy news. That's good.
I know, and you know, we all know, they're not gonna live forever, but I sure wanna believe it.
Well, I know, I know.
So,
You know, good friend of mine just had to put down her 12-year-old lab and, you know, it's like, it's just terrible.
I cried more when I put my last dog down than I did over half the family members.
That's true. I get it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I can't believe my lab's making it so long.
How old's your lab?
He's almost 17.
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
Yeah, we got Charter's place.
That's where I got mine,
14 years ago, and they estimated he was about 2 years old, so.
Holy
That's
crap,
amazing.
that is fantastic.
Yeah, he's definitely got, the typical bad lab hips and all that. but
Yep,
He's just keeps cruising right along, so.
He's my big boy.
Mine was 13, and she's like
Really?
blowing down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's like 17.
Yeah.
17 is for lab especially, oh my gosh.
That is amazing.
Amazing.
Wow.
Oh my God. That is fantastic. Wow.
We're counting, all my counts of them, half the size of them, they only make it to about 112 usually, is
Yeah.
about their range, so.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I've got three of them.
You have three?
Yeah, I got Christians and.
Yeah.
Still, and then, we got two puppies to help him kind of sit down in the yard since he was out there all day, so.
Oh my God. Because the guy, what's his name?
Charlie.
Did he kind of raise them or?
Yeah, he used to breed them.
Uh-huh. I remember Charlie.
Yeah.
He was the old storyteller.
Yeah, so there's only one left of his bloodline that I have. He's,
Oh my God.
he's about to turn 11, so. he's
The old
getting
town?
there. Yeah,
Wow.
How big is he?
he's, you know, they don't even get as big as like Siberian Huskies, they're not.
Oh.
They're not supposed to, no, mine wasn't either, it was bulky.
They're real sturdy now. Their dog I had is the best dog I've ever had.
I have to steer it up.
That's what I want, another one. It's the best dog.
Yeah.
The easiest one.
You made it by?
These dogs, they got all the basics right away, they sat, they get down, they.
I know, I think that can just be, there's not a safe, switch stuff. Oh, that's exactly. You need that handout? I mean.
Yeah.
About here.
No, I don't have.
Yeah, the breeder was very concerned about feeding.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I can say so much.
I wish I could take a dog.
They have a-
Take a dog.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, her age, yeah.
They don't even say they can have it. Okay. But yeah, in about another year, I'll get it. Right?
Yeah.
Giant. Let's see.
Not this whole.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yes,
Thank you. Sorry,
no,
I didn't want to guess. Well, I kind of did guess, right?
no apology necessary.
I mean, you're Bruce, right there.
Wolf Hounds. That's it. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Oh, gosh,
Those are big dogs.
Oh, man.
But I know, he's like, that's what I thought Chris, or Matt was talking about, I was like, what? They're huge.
Hey, Jim, waiting on one person.
Christian.
Maybe you can go and start it.
I call to order the Georgetown Planning Commission, Wednesday, April 17th, 2024, 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call?
Georgia Kovett, here, did I say that right? You did? Kathy Peck. Kate, sorry. Alex Cordillo,
Here.
Jay Cooper.
Here.
Bruce Shank. Here. Chris Sanford.
Here.
Okay. Like to, read off the agenda, the comprehensive plan review. And then we have a discussion of the Parks Commission update, which Beth Luther is here to discuss with us. And then the Planning Commission goals and values. I think we do have, an agenda item to amend, which is, we received a letter from Douglas Rospout, a resignation letter. Did everybody get that? Yes. Christian's here. Have a seat right here. So everybody did get that?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the amended agenda item, I'd like to get a motion to add to the agenda the filling of his seat with the one alternate member we have left. We do have his resume here. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Can I say something real quick? Did you also get that Karen Woodford?
Yes.
Okay, because maybe you.
Did y'all get that as well? We got a resignation from the other alternate, Karen Wilford.
Oh, okay.
Did anybody see that?
I saw it, you know.
It was in the email that was sent out
Mhm.
with these two documents. So we only have one alternate left. So I think the next step is, asking for a motion to amend the agenda to include, a discussion of filling the empty seat.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to fill the vacant alternate seat.
Second.
All in favor?
Do we want to include that to change him from maybe alternate to regular?
Yes.
Yeah, that's part of the discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay. The first item is the comprehensive plan review.
Could I make a possible change to this, if almost we could switch this and almost Beth, you don't. Once you want to sit through that, you know, we could potentially do the best part first.
I think that's a brilliant idea, so that,
Spare her, spare her.
Right on.
All right,
So, I could make a motion to change the order, so the Parks Commission update could go first, and the comprehensive plan would be second.
do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
bless you, brother. Okay. I'll try and be fast, because I know everybody's hungry for dinner. Don't yell at me for killing trees, because if you've ever been to South Georgia, where I'm from, those people survive on paper mills.
Oh, you're from Georgia?
And we're probably feeding about 4 families right now, so don't yell at me.
What is this you just handed me, Pat?
That is our master plan.
Oh, boy.
So, I want to start on page 1, no, I'm kidding. I just want to share just a quick overview. Master planning, nobody likes it, but you gotta do it because your residents change, opinions change. Relevancy changes, so, they're important to do, as mind numbing as they can be, you gotta do it. So, We did a master plan in 2021. And, this is the product of that process. We recognize with the development of the lake, new residents, new vibe, new families, new people, new values. Recreation's growing like crazy. You know, how does the Parks Committee stay relevant and continue to contribute to the town and attract people to come here? And every time I get stuck behind somebody taking pictures on Rose Street, I just grip my steering wheel and say, I love sales tax. I love sales tax. Because if they're coming to Georgetown, they're spending money. So anyway, I just wanted to share this overview with you. This is a whole bunch of information like drinking through a fire hose. So please take your time and look through it, email me questions. You guys might know a few years ago, we sold a sales tax on the ballot to raise money for parks and parks maintenance. And that has generated a good revenue that's allowing us to start and finish Strauss Park.
Oh, right.
And so, I think, you know, Parks and Rec don't sustain themselves. They require revenue and they require constant maintenance. And, that's what we were hoping to do by selling that sales tax on the ballot. We also have a lot of trails. You guys, if you're on the trails at all, you know that. We are connected right to Saxon, Rutherford, Silverdale, Union. I mean, we have a lot of recreational access right here in town. And again, your master plan, it's not necessarily, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, it's not the law, but it's a guide. So it helps you understand what your people want and kind of the culture you want to keep that keeps bringing people here. I'm gonna jump through. You can see on page 8, the work plan that our consultant DHM did for us. We did do some public meetings, we did some surveys, we talked to people in the community, we gathered as much information as we could. And as you guys know, the attendance at public meetings is always massive. So, we got as much information as we could. On page 15, you can see our park inventory. And I think for a town that is 1.5 miles long by about 3/4 mile wide, to have like 17 different parks and recreation assets is pretty amazing. And I think that says something about our values in the community. I mean, I'm sure you've had company that walked out your front door and went, holy crap, look at that view. This place is amazing, you know? And I mean, I have to remember all the time, look where we live. And I think this is an amazing amount of activity locations for our community, but at the same time, it's a lot of work and a lot of money to maintain. One of the things we're doing in parks right now is doing formal surveys of our parks. I am a firm believer that good fences make good neighbors. And some of our parks sometimes get used for driveways and parking lots. And with the turnover of residents, we just want to send a good message and have a formal survey and have it marked. And maybe just do a split rail fence, an open all the time fence. People can still access the park anytime, but just along the boundary to say, please don't put your spare vehicles in our parking lot for the tennis courts. You know, just little things like that. And I just thought it would be a gentle nudge of courtesy to, you know, kind of reaffirm the recreational assets for our town. On page 17, it starts kind of the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats of each park. You know, and some of the items here in the constraints, you know, I was shocked. The other day I was talking with Parks and Wildlife and I was talking about our park on the southeast portion of the lake and how it, you know, it has a great ecology there and that's where all the ducks, the fish and the eagles are. And they were like, yeah, we really just want to focus on the recreation, so. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was looking at, on page 17, right, under constraints, it says, ecological factor or function is lacking along the lake perimeter. And I was like, wow, God, things are changing. So anyway, it's just, you know, the grantors that are out there for parks and recreation are really focusing on the recreation. They really want to bring people to the recreational assets and they really, you know, want to increase usage in general. So on page 21, you'll see the new park at Southeast Lagoon. What do we call it? I don't know. We don't have a name for it yet. This was given to us by the developer on the lakefront. I don't know if y'all have ever been to Evergreen Lake and walked on the boardwalk through the marshlands and stuff. I just thought it'd be kind of cool. I know the neighbors there were really concerned when CDOT did the dredging in the lagoon and provided access to the water. And they were like, oh, what happened to the docks? And, you know, and, you know, the willows have started growing back. And I thought, you know, that might be a cool spot to put a little boardwalk through there and let people, you know, access the water or one of the fishing piers. And maybe do like you already have the kind of boat ramp there. You can't drive down in, but you've got the little ramp there where people can carry their kayaks and paddleboards down to the water. And so we were looking at that and we're talking with UC Denver about landscape architect master's students doing architectural renderings of some of these parks based on the recommendations in this plan, so that we can get some big boards like those and walk them around and show them to people and make sure, is this still what you want? This is what you said in 2021. Is this still what you want? So we're working with them and this will be one of the parks that we want to talk to people about.
That's nice, a quick question.
Yeah.
On this map, is the white the boundary of the park or is this green dotted line the boundary of the park?
I believe so the white, I think, is the town property, which
Okay.
goes into the water. That makes sense.
And then it's the
The
green.
green would
that's the
be the park itself, but I gotta tell you, a lot of that area is pretty marshy. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys have been down there,
Is this,
but I don't think you're going to be like driving a car out on that.
park. Right.
which
It's,
side of the lagoon is this on? This isn't on the Bighorn Crossing side of the lagoon.
no, it's across from Bighorn Crossing.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's right by the silver.
Silver Queen,
This is
Oh.
Silver Queen.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm glad you went back to that. The other thing, we had a request from a resident who came into our meeting and said, hey, do you think you guys could do like Dillon Reservoir? And I have no idea how this works. I gotta go over and look at it. They wanna have some kind of lockable boat storage at this site for residents, so they could leave their boats down there and then go down there and just put in. And I don't know about 115-mile-an-hour winds, but I'm a little nervous about storing boats right there in the open, and I don't know how that works, and I don't know what that looks like. But that was a request we had recently. I just thought I'd mention it. Again, we want to have those students make formal drawings of this and these ideas we're hearing from people, and then just see what everybody says. So, I jumping to page 25. The Greenway Park and Trail, as you know, this is a massive block of land right on Clear Creek, behind the Creek House condos. Lots of trees. We love this area. As you guys probably already know, there's a lot of trails that wind through these trees and it connects with the footbridge and then connects with the whole lakefront activity area. We were looking at this space, and this is just our initial ideas that are mentioned later in the back of the plan and the recommendations. We were looking at like a mountain bike skills trail through here. But we really, well, I know they're cottonwoods, but we want to keep as many trees as we can because we think it's cool to wind through there and test your abilities on the bike, sorry.
what about like a skateboard pump track, like,
That's the
that
other
would
thing.
be, that would eliminate moving any of the trees, because
Yeah.
with the mountain bikes, you're catching air.
Yes, well, and what we were thinking was an outer perimeter mountain bike technical skills with an inner pump track.
Okay,
So we're with you, brother. We are thinking the same
And
thing.
still walking.
Yeah, and still have the pathways.
Yeah.
Cause in the original Greenway plan from like the nineties, the actual county greenway came through this park and up Clear Creek Drive and down that trail behind Cooper's and down to Georgetown, so. Okay, then I'm gonna jump to page 28. And I'm gonna stir it up, because this is everyone's
28.
favorite topic, yes.
oh, gotcha.
Meadows Park. Okay, I'll just introduce it and then y'all can blow up my email. Our team really wants to put a skate park here.
I thought there was one already.
Yeah, me too.
There's,
It's like, there's like wood and pieces of wood and
Everybody
Like
plays
kids that are
basketball.
doing.
Yeah.
Turn the basketball court into-
so in the back of this plan, you will see a modified drawing of this park with the tennis courts remaining and the pickleball courts, with the addition of a little community garden and a playground, and turning the basketball court with its natural topography dropping off of Main Street into a giant skate park bowl. Now, everybody yells at me and says, no, I don't want
Everybody else
that, I
says-
don't want that in my neighborhood. And I hear you, but we, I think, have all learned from the example in Idaho Springs that when you put that skate park on the end of town, next to the highway, what happens to it? It gets vandalized, kids are not monitored. The successful skate parks that we have seen in Denver, for example, Ulysses Park in Golden, they have paired the skate park with batting cages, the greenway, the playground, softball fields, a dog park. So you have multiple generations and multiple uses together. So in essence, it polices itself. Is there gonna be
Keeps
problems?
kids out of trouble, keeps kids
Yeah.
out of trouble.
You see the one in Winter Park?
Yes, yeah.
That one's.
And also at,
Bigger.
I keep calling it Columbine, I think it's Clement Park, it's right next to Columbine High School. They also have a big skate park with tennis courts and a greenway and a playground and batting cages. And with that multi-generational, multi-use, it tends to police itself. Now, do I think some people get in trouble? They always find a way, but I think it'll be far better managed, surrounded by all these other uses and ages of people. So I know that's gonna be contentious.
Well, whether or not it's designated as an actual skate park, as of right now.
Right.
it Has been a skate park since I was a kid.
I mean,
Even if it's designated as an actual skate park or not, kids are still gonna bring ramps and rails and they're still gonna skate.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Griffin's kids turned part of that backside of that park into a snowboard park when it snowed 3 or 4 weeks ago, so,
yeah,
I mean,
And, I mean,
they're
from,
gonna find a way.
yeah,
They have to go somewhere.
from a financial standpoint too, I mean, this is almost set up already for, them to come in and build a pretty
yes.
awesome skate park, so.
And I think our largest child population is in Ward 3 down by the lake, so it kind of makes sense to have the skate amenity there. I mean, again, we are struggling to remain relevant. Keep young families, and I'm gonna get on a pedestal. My husband and I consciously chose not to have children. Thank God, because they would have been just like him. No, but
Jimmy's awesome.
I think he is awesome, he is awesome. But we also have no problem paying the school tax,
Yeah.
because young families bring vitality and contribution to any community, and you can't survive without them. And if I have to change the use of my parks like every 5 years to keep families coming here, that's what I want to do. Because that keeps us alive and it keeps us relevant and, interesting and attractive. So, all right, I'll get off that. All right. Pizza Park, page 32. Most of this property, right across from Georgetown Market is CDOT right away. But we have the little picnic tables there. I had a conversation about a year ago. I don't know if it still exists as a epiphany, with our town manager about one night, overnight RV spots. Right now, they're parking for free at our visitor center and down at our lake for free. Why not have one night pull through little RV spots for people to spend the night at some reasonable cost? One night.
Would they have water hookups, electrical hookups?
That's all to be talked about with Rick, and I don't know, Rick may have changed his mind, he may be like, oh, smoke another one, but, but I think that, you know, we're missing a revenue there. Will we catch them all? No.
I mean, obviously, there couldn't be dump stations, but.
Right, they're not gonna park, you know, on the exit ramp, but we have an opportunity to maybe capture some revenue there. And we can get what we want out of it by restricting it to one night. I don't know, just a thought. We'll draw it up in the drawings, y'all can look at it and tell me if we're crazy or not. And I mean, we want to work together with y'all and keep us all on the same page. I jumped to page 38, City Park, Foster's Place. Did you guys know that we have, we have a map of all the trees in City Park back to the turn of the century that Christine Bradley gave me.
That's cool.
And about 4 years ago, when I had to take down 750-year-old cottonwoods out of that park that were completely hollow in the middle of the playground, scared the crap out of me, but I'm so glad they're down. We got Christine's map. And we made sure we planted new trees in the same spots to try to, you know, maintain that map. I just think it's kind of cool that we have a map. So anyway, City Park, Foster's Place is probably the first park that made us a destination location for parks and recreation. That park is amazing. People come from everywhere to go to that park. On page 44, Triangle Park.
Where are we coming up with his name?
I know, I don't know who named these, but
Park?
Triangle.
I don't know. So Triangle Park, the one memory I have of this is going to the elementary school here in town and talking to the kids about the parks and what they like to do. And they kept putting Post-its on this picture of Triangle Park that said MTPGA. Make Triangle Park great again.
Where is this located?
Right at Main Street and 15th. So down the street from you, going towards the lake on Main.
Okay,
And you know, after you go through the stop sign, it splits and there's just a few houses here. And then it keeps going straight down to the lake.
I did not know
It's
that
a
was
Triangle
Park.
Park right there. So make Triangle Park great again. Okay, so that's on the to-do list. All right. Let's see.
Noted.
As you can see, going to page 52, it talks about the money and the staffing and what it costs to make all this happen. And then on page 54, you start in with the recommendations and post pictures of each park and what it could be. So I please ask you to look through that and, you know, redline it, edit it, like it, hate it, whatever. There's no doubt if before we do anything to any of these parks, we're coming to you, we're coming to we're coming to the Board of Selectmen to run all these ideas by everybody. Looking for, you got the citizen engagement on page 100 that just talked about some of the work that outreach that we did. And I wrote a note to myself, we did it, but you know what happens? People move, ideas change, values change. You gotta check in again. And then operations and maintenance analysis. I am in, what page? I'm on page 106 and 107 and 108. All right, left brainers, here's your math. One FTE is not enough. That's what we've learned in the past couple of years. Kevin is amazing. I love Kevin. he is a rock star. We tried the model of 1 FTE of Kevin and 2 seasonals in the summer. That didn't work. We're gonna have to do it again this year, because that's what we budgeted for, but for 25, we want to budget for 2 FTEs.
What's FTE?
Oh, I'm sorry, a full-time employee.
Okay, so
I'm so sorry. I'm like, that's good. 2 full-time employees year round. I'm sure you guys saw the pond hockey tournament. Yeah, I'm sure you see all winter long how many people are ice fishing, walking down the lake. Recreation doesn't stop in the summer. It's the winter. People are snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, fat bike riding. Kevin needs some help. And he's a superstar and he knows how to run all that heavy equipment, and I want him to train and mold somebody who can do it just like him. So, we're hoping to get that for him in 25. The next page, and it doesn't have page numbers, but at the top of this one, it says Georgetown Parks operating budget revenues. And I put a sticker that says yabba dabba do. We did a parking study in our master plan that said, what happens, I know, you'll be crucify me later. What happens if we charge for parking at the lake?
Okay.
This is not a popular topic. And I know my friends in Idaho Springs took a massive beating, but the businesses are frustrated that the people at the lake don't spend money. So what if we charge for parking? What if it's something cheap, like $5 for the day or something? I mean, you know how many people are there in the summer? There's pop-up tents and people fishing like crazy. And our bathrooms get abused. I'm sorry,
Everything.
that's it.
So.
And it's horrible. That lake is our biggest asset for our community,
I
and
mean, they trash the whole place over there.
They
There's
do.
trash everywhere in the summertime.
Absolutely.
they do, and you know what, it takes money to clean all that up. And we're lucky, we have some great people that live in this community that walk around with that trash bag every morning and pick it up on their own time, and that's awesome. But not everybody does that, especially people who come here on the weekend. So what happens if we think about charging for parking at the lake? And what does that look like? How many spaces do we get? And
The
you,
great thing about parking enforcement is you have you have regions, and then there's just machines, and we don't pay for that. A company comes out and does that, they have their own people that do that, and it's great, and we take all the money, they just take a percentage.
they
And
do,
that's how it works in all of the other cities and towns.
they pick a big percentage.
Yeah, okay.
So it's about a 50-50.
Yeah,
There was a frustrated resident came in to, I believe it was the last board of selectmen meeting, and he was saying that he was frustrated with how he feels that the lake is now being overused because there's so many people coming into town, and he was actually bringing up the same subject, he was saying.
Really?
The use pass for the lake or something.
Wow.
or even, yeah, days past, that would,
That's what we were thinking. I mean, as you can see from this preliminary study they did in 21, you're talking almost 150 grand in revenue for parking at the lake.
a year, or?
Yeah. Now, you gotta balance that out on the next page with our expenditures. And it don't look as pretty there, but it's better than where we're sitting right now. And, you know, as much as I hate having to go to those machines and have the springs myself.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would it be would there be something like maybe if you're a resident of the town, would people that are residents get a sticker for their vehicle?
That's what they do in Idaho Springs. You have to enter your license plate into their online portal, and then you don't pay when you go down there.
Okay.
Permit parking.
Yeah,
we had that.
Right, when I lived in Kingwood, I mean, we had stickers for our vehicles, and if you live in Kingwood, you had a case sticker on the back of your vehicle, you can go anywhere in Kingwood and to their parks and park, but if you didn't have that sticker, that tow truck showed up, your car was.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, they unfortunately, you might have to, somebody walk around like St. Mary's charges for parking the trailhead.
Oh, yes, at Paul's
But
place,
they
yeah.
don't have meters. So some people will probably get away with not paying. But you could maybe find somebody that could be there at certain times of the day and try to collect from people, or even put a donation box out where people would see, be like, lock, you know, park here.
Yeah.
and Put some money in. If we wanna do something less low tech, because some of those parking meter situations like in Evergreen, they hire some really shady company, they catch you not paying and they try to shake you down for like $80 for a $10 parking fee. And that's gonna run people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you get a ticket for $80 and all you had to do is pay $5, I bet you won't do it again.
I bet you.
So that's,
Yeah, in places like Breckenridge, I know Breckenridge, they just do everything through the town. And they have their own town meter maids to cut those kind of costs and things like that.
Well, Breck hires out a different company.
Does Evergreen use the same company as Idaho Springs, do you know?
Breck, Idaho Springs
Park
and
Mobile.
Breck all hire out the same exact company. I only
Park
know this
Mobile.
because a buddy of mine works for them.
Yeah. It's Park Mobile. I mean, my cohorts at Idaho Springs tell me they have a good relationship with the company. But you know, it's always different when you're the parking attendant and you're the guy illegally parking and, you know, it's just different. Everybody I think has a different experience.
Well,
I know they vetted them pretty good before they hired them, but you know,
we were having lunch at Azteca last summer and my sister came back out to her car and had a ticket on her FJ. Well, she had paid. She just didn't put her license plate number in right. She found the guy and was like, I paid. She's like, look, right here's my receipt. He said, you put in your last number wrong. And he canceled out the ticket.
oh, that's cool.
So.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share this idea with you. I know we're gonna take a beating for proposing it to the public, residents, tourists alike. But I just wanted to show it to you as maybe a possible revenue generation or a solution to help maintain and sustain our parks that we value so much and have 11 or
I
12 of them.
personally think it's a great idea.
So, and then I think that was everything. Oh, wait, no, I got one more. Let's see. Page 116. These are preliminary costs on doing some of these improvements at the parks. And, I just wanted to mention, we did Strauss Park first, because if you look at all of the parks, Strauss Park probably has the biggest economic impact on our community. With the booths, with Christmas market, with the traditional downtown, with the summer music festivals. It has so much opportunity to have farmers markets or whatever anybody wants to do with their volunteer time. We prioritized that first, and I'm really glad we did, because it's really coming along. And I think it'll really just benefit the downtown area, maybe attract some more little street, I don't know, street fairs or something, or get people to come downtown. And then, again, these numbers are from 2021, and you know what happens since then. Let's see, oh, in the standalone improvements, they make a recommendation for signage. We love signage. But I don't know who the group is that says, here's your sign standard. I don't know if it's you, I don't know if it's DRC.
Signage
Okay.
for,
Each park. Like, we wanna put up consistent signage at each park, at each trail, so that people can really, maybe do a little map that people can walk around and see every park. And know it when they're there, because the signs are all the same. So we are all in favor of that. We just weren't sure who was gonna make that decision on what that design.
do we have examples of signage we want to use or?
I don't know, do you?
I mean, Business Promotion Commission is, trying to focus on wayfinding signage.
Okay.
So that could be,
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah, we are all in favor of that. And then, my last thing on funding, I am constantly talking to grantors and private foundations. I learned some new information about GoCo, Great Outdoors Colorado. As you know, all of your lottery money goes to GoCo, and that money is put into grant processes that do things like build greenways and skate parks and tennis courts and pickleball courts. And, when we did the Georgetown Lake Trail, they said, come to me and ask me for the money to do the design and the construction drawings. And as you guys know, design and construction drawings, you know, big money right there, so.
We never learned that.
So, they said, come and ask us for the design and engineering, and then when you finish that, come and ask us for the money to build the trail. And we said, okay. This time when I went to her and said, hey, I wanna ask you for some money to do some design and engineering on the parks, she said, no, go to UCD Denver, get your architectural renderings done by the students, and then come back to me for the big bucks to put it on the ground. And I said, yes, ma'am. And so that's the path I'm following right now, and you know, I don't know how lucky we get, it's always a gamble, it's like playing lotto. So, if you get a grant or not, but, we're never going to be able to afford these improvements on our budget alone. And it's always going to be a matter of leveraging what we do have in the sales tax revenue that we do collect, to match with grantors to make these things happen. So that's our plight. Jen's like, I'm hungry, hurry up. So, anyway.
This is much better than the last one.
Oh.
Way better.
Good. And I'm sure Jen has my email that she can get it to, or my cell, yes, or my cell number. If you feel free to send me an email and say, Beth, look at page 67, I hate that one. You know, I can't fix it unless I know about it, so. And I will share all of your feedback. We have parks meetings next week. No, week after next. We meet the first Thursday of every month here at 6 p.m. So I'm happy, or come see us and turn the pages with us and tell us what you like and don't like, or if you're like me and hate talking in front of people, just send me an email. So anyway. All right,
Thank you for all that work.
is that it?
Really well done. Yeah.
I want to keep you guys, I know you got the joy of the comp plan. I know that.
I would also say, when you're looking for, professionals to do your work, don't pick the biggest firms.
No way.
And that's part of why you're paying a lot.
Yeah, well, we knew DHM was coming in hot. And, we look at what Bob Hamilton's done for us on the Strauss Park.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Look what Mark Reynolds does for us every day. I mean, we got mad skills in this community, and we just need to reach out and talk to people and see if we can get some help. Thank you though, Kathy. You have a lot of experience, so I'm gonna lean on you.
Well, the thing when
Because-
you get the biggest firms is they've got a lot of overhead.
Yeah,
And they can't cut any corners, and, I mean, it's just very, very expensive.
it is.
And then you don't get their very best person either, because we're the small town, and,
We get the interns.
I don't wanna say that anybody's bad about this, I'm just saying that,
Yeah,
you'd do better to interview a few medium-sized or small firms to do the work.
yeah.
There's a guy who just bought our previous house on Second Street named Seth Hart, he's an architect.
Really? What's his name?
Seth Hart, very good design work. I've seen some stuff he did on AutoCAD.
Nice.
Just moved to the town, he loves the town. But
Awesome.
he might be, somebody that might do some renderings just for the fun of it, so.
Do you think you might wanna volunteer for the Parks and Rec?
I can ask him.
Will you, or give him my email? I will.
Is he
Lobby
next to
him.
the Elliott?
He's the last house up Second Street,
Oh.
504.
Okay.
Okay.
He's part-time, but he wants to spend all his time here, so very,
Awesome.
very quickly attached to the community.
I would love it. I was super excited about working with the students because you know what? They have their finger on the pulse of the industry for parks and recreation right now. And they know what's hot and what's popular and what people want and how to make it sustainable. And that's so important up here where we get the crap beat out of us in the winter. And you need, a product that's gonna last. So, okay, I'm leaving you alone. And Lynn has my contact.
Thank you.
Coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you, everybody. Good job. Better call me. Thank you.
Okay, next, the comprehensive plan review, can we get a staff report from Kasia if she's listening?
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm on Zoom today. Excited to see all of you. You have the staff report in your packet, and my intent with it is basically for us to go over the comprehensive plan throughout the year, not all tonight, and that way, all of us, including me, will gain mastery of the comprehensive plan. So when we're making decisions on applications that are coming through, all of us have a great understanding of what the comprehensive plan is about, and we can make decisions on applications with that in mind. There's also a document in there that Jen provided that was a review done by the Planning Commission in 2021, I believe. And so that'll be part of the review, is their review and like what's been done, what do we still need to work on, what kinds of priorities should we have going forward. And yeah, so I think that'll make the Planning Commission stronger. All of us will have a better understanding of what's going on. You guys will have a better foundation for making decisions. And it also help us keep consistency so that we're having something to look at, even if we don't have applications each month. I think consistency is important for having a strong Planning Commission. Of course, you guys get to decide that, not me. And so the schedule that's in there is open. And if you guys like this idea and you'd like to do it, then this discussion is intended to be for you guys to pick a schedule for what we review throughout the year, if that makes sense.
What document are you talking about?
I think it's this one on the back of the staff report.
Is it this one?
Probably, I can't see what you're holding, but. Oh, that's very helpful. Thank you, whoever held that in front of the camera. That's the schedule, yes. So if you want to, Mhm.
Okay. So we're not
Yeah,
necessarily.
so really this is just a conversation. Oh, go ahead.
We're not necessarily going over the comprehensive plan then?
No, not today, just the schedule for going over in the future. It's a really big document. I think it would do us a disservice to try and review the entire thing in one day. My idea was to parcel it up into sections, and so we can deep dive into those. I'm hoping that, if you guys are interested in a particular section, that we can work together on some kind of presentation on that for the Planning Commission. But you guys can let me know about that. And ultimately, this is about your priorities and what you guys are interested in learning and the kind of schedule that you want to keep, because this is your commission and I'm just staff support. So.
Okie dokie. Thanks, Kasia.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so I guess we're gonna be discussing everything on the back of this. And not necessarily today, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Does she want you guys to maybe go through these categories and then figure out which dates to
Yeah.
talk about them maybe?
That
I'm
makes
not
sure, or at least start with one and then go from there, right? These are all the plans that are within the comprehensive.
Right.
plan, right?
in my see, I think we're supposed to pick which ones are the highest priority.
Exactly, where do we wanna start and all that?
Yeah.
Well, I have the comprehensive plan here, but
Yeah, I've got a copy of it too, I don't know.
I think, does anyone have any opposition to going down? In,
No.
in order of what it's showing, like, does anyone have a strong wish to go over something for prior to another?
I think she almost put these in the order that we probably would prioritize, honestly, or going down.
Yeah, if they're in the book, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
so I did go over, the comprehensive plan with Kasia and Rick, who, prior to this meeting, actually like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Some of these, have been completely filled. A place where people live should be at the top of the list. An efficient transportation network is definitely the bottom of the list, because that's something that's already been taken care of. We have that already with the roundabout, so that could definitely be the bottom.
I think we might be missing exhibit A, which is the plan review.
That's what I was asking.
I think that's what's going on.
Right.
That's why people are confused.
Yeah,
Where is that?
That was in, it was in February, so?
I never got that.
Yeah.
This was in February meetings packet. I didn't see it in this one. I would say make notes of it, but I put a bunch of.
Okay, yeah,
I put a
Yeah,
bunch of my
that's-
notes, I put a bunch of my notes on it already,
yeah.
where I made copies of it, but I don't want everybody seeing my notes, may not be able to decipher. But yeah, that's what she was talking about with the 2021 planning commission review of the comprehensive.
Or I can print that out and send it to you guys tomorrow too, but I can make copies of that right now if you want.
Yeah, I've got a clean sheet.
Is this your proposal?
That was, so when this was me sitting down, reading everything, I just ranked what my priorities.
Do you wanna go over yours with the board?
Sure, this is just how I rank. I put a place where people live as number 1. I put clean and safe environment as number 2. A unique character is number 3, healthy economy is 4. A system of quality public and services as 5, an efficient transportation network is 6, and a compact community is 7. I put the compact community last because we really have no choice. We're literally tucked in here. We have to be compact.
Unless we start living in the old mine.
Yeah. So that's why I put the compact unit last, but if we already have an efficient transportation network, that's already figured out. I don't know, do we wanna see if there's a way that we can get better? So do we still wanna talk about it?
And
That's just how I listed what my priorities were.
And the efficient transportation network, I spoke with Beth about this before we when we went over the comprehensive plan, because she's the one that put together the whole roundabout. She's
Is that-
Yep, so the person with the most experience on this board is Kathleen. So I would ask Kathleen, where are you at on this?
Well, I haven't really had a lot of time to look at it, but I'd probably keep healthy economy up there at 2 or 3.
I agree with that.
I would too.
Because without the tax revenue, you don't have enough money for grants to do
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
Right, I agree with that.
And unique character, if we pretty much have that already again, and it's pretty well established, in the DRC and other, been planning various other things. Not that we can't improve, but, so I think we're sort of there too. System of quality public services is interesting, and I'm not sure where I would put that. Some of these probably end up in a number of categories or subcategories.
You got that.
Sorry, go ahead, Kathleen.
So I think I've finished.
Okay, so your order of priority, you think a healthy economy should be at the very top?
No, I feel a place where people live. I think that's still key for any of us who live here.
Okay, is everybody in agreement for a place where people live as being number 1?
Sure.
Okay, we'll keep that at 1. A healthy economy. Number 2,
For me, it is.
Yeah,
or are we thinking something else?
well, it depends again on what some of these things mean. Clean and safe environment. Like, we're in a place where it floods in the spring and it can burn at any time, although we have been fortunate in not having that go on. So I mean, that becomes, maybe that's a part of a place where people live and taking care of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a subcategory, if that's its own category. And I don't want to argue with anybody who's put this together, but I mean, I want to make sure that that doesn't get discounted.
Yeah.
So I can read off some of the things that are under the clean and safe environment. if y'all are interested.
Sure.
Work with Clear Creek County to refer to the town for comment, any development application proposed within the source water protection area. Develop a tracking and reporting system to gauge the effectiveness of various best management practices implemented by the Georgetown Watershed Protection Plan. Update Title 21 flood damage prevention regulations. Update Title 17 land use code to require mitigation of any area proposed for development that has a high potential to be impacted by land subsidence. Update Title 17 land use code to require that an applicant developing land on slopes exceeding 15% submit a geotechnical detailing any mitigation requiring to ensure public safety. More Title 17 on geologic hazards. More Title 17 defensible space around residential properties located in wildland urban interface. Work with Colorado State Forest Services to prepare and distribute a brochure to Georgetown property owners summarizing wildfire mitigation techniques. Recommended by CWPIP. Research mine claim ownership and work with Turk Creek County and Historic Georgetown Incorporated to pursue funding to purchase privately owned mining claims. And work with Clear Creek County to protect scenic views by restricting development on ridge lines.
So here's a quick thought. If we kept this list where people live, economy and environment, and then just moved quality of public services to 4, and let everything else fall to compact community, unique character, and efficient transportation could be 5, 6, and 7. How does that work for people? That's, is that somewhat what you had? Maybe not.
Yeah. We're gonna get through them all. I think.
Right. I mean, they're all-
We're gonna get through them all.
Right.
I think,
Nothing's gonna be missed, nothing's not gonna be talked about.
I think we're just trying to prioritize the most
Right.
important things at right this point.
The top 3 for me are the top 3.
I think the
I agree
clean
with
and
that.
safe environment
Mm-hmm.
isn't necessarily a top 3 in my opinion.
Well, that's what you were just reading off.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, to me,
To me, that's really
yeah.
important. You got watershed, you have your subsidence issues, there's a lot of things with new builds and all of that. And
There's
they
a lot-
really matter that come into that environmental umbrella.
And there's a lot of potential for rockfall, when nobody wants to face it or
yeah.
legislate on it.
Well, on top of that, I noticed in the last 10 years, a uprise in just the amount of trash around Georgetown, especially down Service Road by I-70 over there. You know, bunch of construction trash from the convenience stores, things like that. So I think that should also possibly be included in the clean and safe environment is, you know, trash pickup down by the lake as well, because I do notice quite a bit of, you know, fishing trash and things like that.
Yeah,
down
we
there.
were just talking about that, yeah.
And to her point, cost of money, clean up trash, so all comes back to the healthy economy,
It
driving
really does.
anything that's done here.
Economy and environment.
So,
But yeah, I think the top 3, I don't really see a problem with how they're prioritized at all, if no one else does.
so are we saying top 3? We've already got 1, so number 2, number 3, a healthy economy and clean and safe environment, or which one's 2 and 3?
That's what I'm
Sounds-
thinking.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3
Okay.
right
Are
there.
we all in agreement?
Jake, what are some of the details that go along with the place where people live? Broad.
Which one?
The first
A
one.
place where people live?
Yeah, just curious what some of them. Oh, I had it actually here, Shirley, just Georgetown Parks and Rec. Mostly group sidewalk
Right.
conditions.
Mhm.
I think this too could help. Boost the economy and make, like,
Yeah, and this might be a good thing to do first, because we are already in a topic with that on Parks and Rec and everything as well, so.
I guess they give me, what is it, the pizza part, if you could somehow add signage to lead people from the community center to the pizza part to 6th,
Yeah,
like,
Perfect,
you know, especially if you made like a dog walk trail.
yeah. And Jack, you're talking about that as where people live, as part of that category?
Yeah, cause I think a lot of this stuff in here is Parks and Rec
It's
related.
gonna kind of overlap a lot. Mhm.
I do think we should keep, unique character up there, maybe number 4.
Yeah, I agree
Because
with
part of
that.
what we are is a historic landmark district. That is our character. We need to make sure we don't lose that.
I think what you're saying, there's other groups that protect that pretty well, but granted, like, we're not gonna wanna approve development that's gonna be not in character with.
And one thing they talked about, and I'm not sure when we're gonna get into this, is the buy-in from those other groups, because they talked about having like a special committee or something, when we finally get the sign. So that we have DRC, we have business promotion, we have Parks and Rec, so it's not just us doing the master plan. Eventually, we're wanting to buy in from everybody, so
Right,
eventually we'll get to that point. But I think I'd like to see the character number 4, just because it's what makes Georgetown Georgetown.
I agree with that, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Number 4, a unique character. A system of quality public services. I think that should be number 5. That's infrastructure, so.
Honestly,
I could go with that.
that one almost, for certain residents, probably would rise to level 2 or 3.
Yeah, again, these are all gonna get visited, so.
Yeah, I know for a fact that a lot of the, sewer lines here are not even mapped.
Is everybody good with that being number 5?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then what do we want to be 6 and 7?
Transportation and then compact community.
There you go.
Everybody in agreement?
Mm-hmm.
So transportation is 6 and compact community is 7?
Yeah,
Okey dokey.
I think it is important to touch on that because there's still enough open space that we want to talk about perhaps how that's developed. But I think at this point, that moves slowly enough that we can look it off a bit.
So we can transfer all of these down to the priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And then. Sweet.
Yeah, one of the things under efficient transportation network is actually talking about speed bumps, which kind of fall under safety category. Talking about Vanilla Path, people go take that curve like they're at an IndyCar race. So,
I don't know how much of that area is within the town limits.
oh, that's a good point. It's go up Quinella for enough to Trump County Road.
I think it's around like the first switchback, the town limits. Or no, the second switchback, excuse me, not the first
We
one.
probably need a good town map then too, while we're having these conversations.
I do know that that first house on Woodhull after that second switchback is still considered within town limits, I believe.
Oh, I think so.
Well, this one actually says that's completed, the speed bump there, because Joe, it's like.
There's a lot of.
Might-
there's a lot of stuff I think there
Snow.
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when the dirt road was like potholes, I didn't have that problem.
That was a very.
Potholes are very good, speed reduce.
When I moved back and grew up there, I was like jaw dropping the paved.
Jen, do we need to make a motion to prioritize this?
No, I don't think we need a motion. At this point, it's a discussion.
We would
Right,
just
Jeff?
add to the agenda for those meetings, we have to bump those dates for reviews up a little bit. Because we're going into May 15th for the first one.
Okay. All right, next on. Next on the agenda is the planning commission goals and values where we discuss. What does the planning commission want to get want to get done? How can the planning commission ensure that it is a strong commission? So I think this is where we discuss, since we're such a new commission, minus Kathy. Everybody here is, pretty new. I think the only people here,
You're as new as the rest.
the only ones here that aren't originally from Georgetown are Chris, are you from the region? Yeah, so Chris and
I'm not,
Kathy.
I'm not originally,
Well, y'all been here for
well, yeah,
a very long time. He is originally from Georgetown.
Yep.
So, that being said, I think this just goes to, we just wanna have a discussion about what we wanna get done, what we wanna do while we're on this board. Cause, we're tasked to do things for the town, not just, do things that come before us on the agenda. We need to put things on the agenda, come up with ideas, you know. I think everybody kind of gets the idea.
Yep.
That being said, I'll open the discussion, to everybody.
I'd love to know, Kathy, what your thoughts are after the experience you have. You know, how do you see, or what do you see as priority points of focus for the commission? Obviously, one is to hear everybody who comes in front of us, but as Jake points out, we also have to tend to the town in a sense. What does that look like to you?
well, I think this is actually, what we've been talking about is a bit of a change. Because although we did do a review of the planning stuff and a review of the park stuff. I think that was considered secondary. And I think, and we don't have that many things coming up now. There was when there was that new development down on Main Street. But I don't know of anything else big coming up at this point, and therefore probably doing the planning stuff and prioritizing that, probably takes care of most of what we should be doing. Otherwise, it was really easy to sort of only look at the agenda items and say, oh, I don't want to do the planning commission stuff again. The planning, goals, yeah. Because that could be tedious, but I think that it's heading in a good direction at this point, so I feel good about that.
Good.
I would say that, you know, when we do have people coming in for review, I think we all need to be very careful to follow the zoning and be very careful about reviewing all the zoning requirements. Because that's what we need to base our, decisions on. What we're doing in terms of the planning stuff is just it's overall vision, but it's not the law at this point.
So is that the Title 17 land use code that?
Yeah,
So really know that.
yeah. I mean, I even have to read it every time when a new one comes up because it's real easy to forget which is in which category.
And you know, if there's something that we can't figure out or we don't know, we can always lean on, Rick or Kasia for that, because Rick knows that book pretty good. You can ask him a question, he's usually able to answer it pretty quick, and if he can look it up really fast. Kasia, pretty much the same, so.
Yeah.
So that being said, where do we go from here? I mean, what do we do as the planning commission when we don't have agenda items? How do we make it in?
Well, I think that's what the priority list is about, and that's, right now, it's assigned dates. So I think it's pretty obvious, but although we need to get comp plans.
Aside from that, in our free time, we can, you know, talk amongst each other. You know, we can't always talk about agenda items, you know, things that are, on the agenda. But, you know, we can come up with ideas, to put on the agenda, things that are going on in town, and things that we want to happen in town. Obviously, am I right? Isn't
I
what
mean,
we
it
do
would be good
plan?
to know the things that are going on.
Stuff going on with the parks, things going on with, you know, streets, signs, anything like that. This is.
But I think we're a long way off from saying this is where we need to head and actually following that. I mean, as opposed to just reviewing it and understanding it and agreeing. Then, you know, maybe the next 6 months we can start looking at how can that be implemented? So get your legs underneath you and then go out into saying, okay, so what else is there? Now that we get what we're doing.
Right.
So I have a quick question on the comprehensive plan. Obviously, we're reviewing it. Are we reviewing it for our own benefit or also because it needs to be updated and changed?
Our own benefit and updated.
Okay, so both. And what is the end date for a change? When does that have to be rewritten? When is that due? Or is there an expectation of time on that?
Kasia?
She might.
I think they like to
Yeah,
update
so
it.
typically comprehensive plan
What?
there's so it would be 26, something like planning commission. You see,
We're getting every other word.
You're breaking up really bad.
I think she was, when she called me about this
oh,
meeting.
sorry. Can you?
I think she said another, like, beginning of a new, so the plan was coming soon, so 2027.
I think they do it about every 5 years, just what I heard.
Okay.
Like it,
And the last one was 21.
I
Yeah.
think it was 16. This one's from 16.
2016.
Right.
And when we reviewed it,
It's usually 10 years, but you know, it could be 5 too, I don't know.
and you guys, you could go through the old planning commission minutes from 21 and see what they were doing, you know, saying about it, just if you wanted. We have those minutes.
Okay, I mean, we'll get those answers, you know,
Yeah, we can figure that out.
when we have staff here to answer those questions.
And it would be better than my memory anyway.
Bruce, do you have anything?
What we're talking about, just kind of scratched down my goals and values, and that is utilizing our land use code for smart growth, dense housing where it fits, affordable housing, maintaining our character, and focusing on open spaces, parks, transportation. One thing I noticed is like a lot of our sidewalks and crosswalks, to include like traffic calming areas, because, I know the neighbors that live behind me, they constantly have to deal with the traffic that flies down Bull Street coming off of Real Pass. And that's always one of their concerns with their kids. So just knowing my neighbors, that's one of the things that I see as a goal in the vision that I would like to work on is some of that, transportation, self traffic calming. Yeah, anyway, that was it. That's just what I scratched out. Those are my goals and visions.
The way that's been handled today is put more stop signs up. Don't get up your speed if you've got a long way to go.
I know when I work on a project over on Rose Street, close to Gwinnett Pass, people do fly down that street. And
Oh, that's tough. That's a really.
we have talked about putting, either speed bumps there or,
Would that be something we would ask CDOT to implement?
I don't think so because it's town.
You think we're still in the town?
Yeah, we're in the, on Rose Street, yeah,
Oh,
we're,
yeah, but you know, once they make it corner, it doesn't get too wild.
oh no, when they come around that corner, they fly past the school, they run that stop sign.
Yeah, Rose Street doesn't have any striping on it. And
Yeah,
so one of the things you see on neighborhood streets that don't have striping, people just kind of take up the middle, and they go as fast as they can.
they do.
Where if you just put like, if you were just stripe a line down it, it's ingrained in us since we were kids, stay inside the lines. And people slow down to kind of observe that stuff, so that's.
This will make that a yield when you're coming down rather than a stop, so you can literally take that turn now without.
Exactly, and it should be a stop in a way.
There was a stop. And they
Yeah, it
changed
used to
to a
be,
yield.
right? They changed it,
Yeah.
yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, not to get too much into the weeds, but yeah, those are some of the things that I think would be important to.
That's the traffic thing is very important for me. I mean, during leaper season last year, people were doing 40 and 50 down Griffith in front of my house. Well, my kids were playing outside. We put cones down the center of the street. You know what they did?
Right, well,
They went like this. They were like, ooh, let's do the slalom down Griffith Street. Doing 40 miles an hour.
I mean, the other problem is we don't have enough police force to sit there.
Sure,
Take care
exactly.
of that you would see speed.
Well, there's always the possibility of putting in lights and putting recorders, cameras on the
That's
lights.
true.
I mean, the lights could always be yellow, but if you got the,
Right. And the reminder, those signs, you know, that say speed limit, you're going this fast or whatever those are. Those are good reminders too,
yeah,
for people.
Does anybody else have any comments on the planning commission goals, values? Or their,
Not at this point. I think we're pretty much on the same page, it sounds like.
okay,
Although is there anything like these smaller projects we can tackle short term in between the next tourist seasons kind of kick in about a month or so?
so that's something like if you come up with ideas, you bring it to, you would add it to the agenda, you bring it to Rick Acacia and say, can we add this to the agenda? And they would say either yes or no, or, you know, this is something that we'd have to look into, something like that.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, so the last thing on the agenda is the open seat that we have. We have a letter of intent and a resume from Christian Dixon, the last alternate member that we have. Obviously, we have a couple options. We have, we could vote to put him in the seat, or we could wait and see if there's some. We could advertise and see if there's some other members in town that want to, you know, apply for the seat before we put him in the seat.
well, it was advertised recently enough, I think, that people who wanted to put something in could have by now.
I agree.
Okay. Well, that being said,
And I will tell you, things move fast enough that the next person who comes in will probably be a welcome seat filler.
We need alternates.
right,
Yeah, definitely.
Perhaps we could have staff put a call out for alternates, so at least we have that backup to fill in.
do I have a motion to fill the seat?
I move that we fill the seat with Christian Dixon.
Second. All in favor?
I mean,
You need a second.
Oh, he said sorry.
Oh, sorry, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion passes.
So you guys are making a recommendation to the board of selectmen that will.
That's correct.
Or
Yeah.
alternate to a regular member and ask staff to put out a call for more alternates.
Yep. Can we task y'all to put out a call for more alternates for the planning commission?
Is there a limit to alternates? Is it 2 or 3 or it
We
doesn't matter?
probably only need a couple,
Maybe so 3 total?
maybe
No, no, 2 total. So just a call for one more alternate.
one or two. I mean, if we had one more, that'd be great. 2 would be
Yeah.
optimal.
Gotcha.
And then the approval for minutes for February 21st.
And move that we approve the minutes.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Yep, okay.
And
Get to
can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? All against?
Oh, I know.
Motion passes.
Wouldn't that be amazing if somebody went, no?